Have you ever seen an 18-year-old behave like a toddler? Wearing nappies, using baby talk like throwing toddler tantrums and playing with alphabet blocks? This is the world of Tori Woods' masterpiece, Daddy's Little Toy.
Okay, let's go.
The main character here, Lucy, is 18. The book makes a point of saying that, but then it spends over 200 pages making sure you know that she's a child trapped in an adult's body. She has to be bathed and diapered. She plays with toys, she has accidents. The main lead is her father's best friend, Arthur, who, according to the book's own lore, has been attracted to Lucy since she was 3.
Oh, Lord. Again. Again. Nothing new, nothing changed, same old shit.
Tori was even posting teasers of Arthur counting down the days until Lucy was finally 18, saying he had wanted her longer than he could legally admit.
The main character, key point, main male character, the MMC in the book, is lusting after wanting a 3-year-old girl. The FMC in the book, yes. The MMC, who is 30 or 29, lusting a 3-year-old. And it says in the book, I cannot wait for her to be 18 so we can be together. He's saying that when she was 3. No, because we're generally getting the MMC point of view when the FMC was 3-year-old, and we get to see his thoughts about how he wants a 3-year-old girl and how he's attracted to a 3-year-old girl, a child.
It was pitched as a barely legal age gap daddy dom / little girl romance. But think about the planning that went into this. It wasn't merely a dark story. It was a calculated project. Look at the cover. Pink pastels, alphabet toy blocks. It looks like it belongs in a nursery. Like if I were to see this on a bookshelf without knowing about the content, I would simply think that it's a children's book. Isn't it deceptive? I think at this point we should start judging a book by its cover too, because everything about the packaging and the content is signaling to a very specific audience.
Well, just as I thought, trash.
You and I aren't the only one thinking that. In March 2025, the Australian Centre to Counter Child Exploitation was tipped off. This didn't end with a mean email. The New South Wales police showed up at a house in Quakers Hill with a search warrant. They seized 16 hard copies. The author, Tesolin-Mastrosa, Tori was his real name by the way, Lauren was arrested and charged with possessing, producing, and disseminating child material. Talk about a twisted double life. On paper, she was a high-level marketing executive for a Christian charity called BaptistCare. But when she's off the clock, she's either plagiarizing other people's work or she's tapping up this absolute filth.
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
Basically, Lauren thought she could hide in the shadows of self-publishing, but she was leaving a trail of breadcrumbs everywhere. Turns out she was already a legendary figure in the indie community way before this. She used to write mainstream romance under the name Lauren Ashley, but the indie community caught her. She was caught copy-pasting another author's work. Just straight up plagiarism.
In this book, she dedicates it to her children and, quote, says, I will never look at my children the same again. A week ago, she was celebrating the release of her 3rd book, Daddy's Little Toy. However, this is not the first time she's been under fire. You may recognize this author as Lauren Ashley. The same Lauren Ashley who was caught last year plagiarizing this entire book by this author, which is why she started writing under the pen name Tori Woods. Since getting away with plagiarizing someone else's entire book, she probably thought she'd get away with this 3-year-old being pined after by a grown man. All of her books have been taken down online. Creators who had shared her book have since deleted their videos recommending her book for its adult-only content. Not only is she an author who writes very despicable things when she's actually writing her own books and not copying it from someone else, she's also the marketing executive at BaptistCare, which is a Christian charity organization. The reason she was finally caught and this book was taken down less than a week from it being released is because her own readers turned her in.
So what do you do when your reputation is a burnt crisp? That's right, you don't apologize. You nuke the brand, crawl under a new pen name like Tori Woods, and moonwalk your way into the dark romance to outrun your past.
Okay, you got me there. But that is not a crime.
The hypocrisy of managing a charity's public image while churning this out in private is just, it's wild. The fallout from the arrest was messy. Lauren's team members started jumping ships immediately. Her cover artist Georgia Stuff publicly bailed with immediate effect after getting tons of criticisms. In her defense, Georgia claimed that she was catfished by a marketing blurb about a barely legal trope and thought it was standard stuff, even begging people to stop the death threats over something she had no control over. The manuscript editor Lauren hired also flagged the content during the drafting stage, repeatedly telling Lauren to edit out the concerning scenes. But our Miss Writer ignored the warnings. Lauren reportedly waited until the editor was finished editing, and only after that she smuggled the graphic scenes into the final work behind their back. Well, as an artist, when your own team is sprinting for the exit, you know you've left the art zone and entered the criminal zone.
Are you surprised? Why is that so,
Okay, so fast forward to the court case in 2026. Lauren's lawyer argued that this was a fantasy within a fiction with no victims because the characters were consenting adults. You know, the clock just hit 12 a.m. level adults. But the magistrate Brie Chisholm wasn't buying it. She read the full 210-page book. The ruling was a massive reality check. The number 18 didn't matter because the description used in the text created a visual image of a child. Well, what do you know? The law isn't a bot. You can't slap an age on a character and spend the rest of the story describing a toddler to get around the law. It doesn't work that way.
That's right. This author thought it was okay to put that in her book. Pause to read.
Like, this makes me physically sick.
Newsflash, being interested in someone who is 3 years old, but waiting until they're 18 is not a nice guy thing. That's not age play. That is grooming. I hope that no one ever buys your books again, because what the actual fuck were you thinking?
Now, Lauren and her lawyer obviously have to defend themselves, right? So they opted for the sympathy route. The lawyer argued that Lauren wrote this as a coping mechanism because she was dealing with thyroid cancer and multiple miscarriages.
I say, hold up, wait a minute. Something ain't right.
I'm sorry, but in what universe does losing a child, which is a true tragedy by the way, lead you to write a 210-page of CA?
Huh?
Believe me when I say that connecting with an alien civilization is going to be much more likely to happen than finding a connection between her excuses and the crime. Like most people who go through that kind of grief become fiercely protective of kids. They don't go home and start outlining this kind of depravity. Writing a book isn't an impulsive act. There's drafting, editing, commissioning a cover, finding 21 advanced readers, and setting up a marketing plan. That is months of conscious decisions. You can't just blame that on a medical diagnosis. It's an insult to anyone who survived cancer or miscarriage to suggest that those tragedies turned you into a producer of illegal content.
She just gave me a fucking headache.
It was a career choice, and Lauren is a mother. Isn't it very normal when a parent faces a serious illness, they usually start thinking about their legacy? How will my kids remember me? How can I make their lives better when I'm gone? Instead, Tesolin-Mastrosa left her kids a permanent digital scar. She is now on the Child Protection Register for 8 years. She's a registered offender. Her career is gone. Her reputation is a crater. And one day her children will be old enough to Google her name. They won't find a writer. They'll find a criminal record detailing why she was investigated by a child squad.
But you did this for what? Why not? Why? Why not? Why?
Imagine the psychological weight of discovering that your mother spent her escape time fantasizing about the victimization of kids your age. What even was her intention behind this book? Honestly, I hope those kids find a way to separate themselves from her darkness. It's a lot to carry. I'm gonna have to say Australia got this one right. The courtroom gasped when Lauren got no jail time, just 18 months community correction order. But the fact that she was arrested and convicted at all is a huge step up from what happened in France. Jessie Oren's book was taken down, but she's still free. She's still on social media playing the victim.
Are you serious right now, bro?
Australia didn't mess around. They set an example. Your work has consequences. If you produce material that objectifies children, you're not an author. You're a criminal. Period.
Although I do have a long list of moral objections to the book's themes, I am a free speech fundamentalist, and I think it is incredibly difficult to concoct a legal standard that criminalizes Daddy's Little Toy without applying to a wide range of perfectly acceptable books. There is absolutely a way to concoct a legal standard. The standard is we don't children. We don't involve children or childlike things in adult fantasies, films, or novels. And if there is ever a time when a child has to be portrayed in some way, shape, or form, it should always be done in a way that horrifies and shocks the audience. Like, oh my God, this is an awful thing. Not in a way that says, oh, this is awful, but she likes it though. Well, she came on to him. Because you're literally just grooming your audience, just like the main lead character of the book groomed the kid. Like, there is a way.
You know, there are countries where writers get exiled for less. Lauren, thinking that she could hide behind the dark romance tag while keeping her cozy charity job, was peak entitlement. And she's still not taking accountability. She immediately filed an appeal to fight the conviction, still trying to claim that there was a great misunderstanding.
Are you fucking for real?
But in her post, Lauren said that the accusations were grossly disturbing and made her sick. But here's the thing. In the same breath, she also admitted Yes, there were thoughts and I can see how that is frowned upon. So which is it? The accusations are disturbing, but the content is fine?
Bitch, get the fuck out.
There was no misunderstanding, Lauren. The police found the copies, the judge read the book, the 18-year-old shield failed, and you became another example of authors that ruined their career. If I could, I would ask you one thing. Was it really worth it? And to the people who are still defending these kind of books in the name of artistic freedom or whatever anga bunga freedom you wanna call it, you guys really need to get your moral compass checked.